Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Brick Something News for this sort of special breaking news, not really, edition. This is obviously not our normal Sunday 4:30 p.m. Pacific time slot, but there's just so many cool things happening. And, I wasn't feeling well, didn't go to work and had the opportunity. And I figured, let's hang out with some friends and talk toys. So speaking of friends, today I'm super happy to bring on two of my favorite people to host shows with because we do it quite often, actually, at least once a month. I've got Oz right there, and then down there we've got Eldor from Master Versal Toy Hunter. What's up, folks?
What's going on?
Hello
Glad
there.
to be here.
Good afternoon.
So I'm really happy this came together because part of the reason there was a need to do some breaking news was because there actually was some breaking news this week, right?
Yeah.
We're going to be talking a little bit about this, some Motu stuff that's come up. So let's go ahead and get right into it. And then we'll maybe start the main sort of story, and then we'll circle back and check in who's there with us in the chat. So not ignoring you now, just we want to jump right in and we'll come back. So before we start, I'm always keeping this running list of the things that we cover on the Brick Something News. So I don't usually get that up till after the live stream. I'm a teacher, so it's kind of like, hey, listen first, and then you can kind of go look on your own later. So if you follow the QR code that's down there, God, I'll never figure this out, Oz. Down there in that QR code, it'll take you to that list of links. And if you're curious, just go ahead and click over to see what that's like, because every single thing ever since I started this whole Brick Something News is in there, including the first time I ever had a co-host, which was with this guy, Oz, when we talked about the He-Man Art of Masters of the Universe book.
That was fantastic, too. I love that book.
So there's the URL, bit.ly/brick something news, capital B, capital S, capital news, because it really is the BS news. And so let's get into some BS news, folks. Let us check out the big story, which is it's like, oh, this is fun. How do I do this again? Maybe this will work. No, that won't work. That's fun. How about if I clicked this? Sure, that kind of worked. All right, hey folks, Crackerjack operation over here. All right, so what's the big news? What is this about? I'll let my wonderful co-hosts introduce it. What is this stuff going on? Eternia's Choice?
I gotta say, at first I thought they were gonna have us all come out and audition or something. Which was sad because I can't really make it out to the West Coast for that. But after taking a look at it, it looks like Mattel is interested in backing some more crowdfunded projects.
Yep. Yeah,
now, it's a little shaky because we didn't quite hit that mark with the Jurassic Park on Mattel's end.
Mm-hmm.
But Eternia did really, really good. So, didn't quite make top tier, but still made a big impact. Now it's a matter of seeing what can they do next.
Right. So essentially, Mattel put this on their Facebook, which is what I'm looking at here. And all they really said about it was, fans of Eternia, you have the power to shape the next Masters of the Universe crowdfund project. Tune in Tuesday, September 5th to learn how to cast your vote for our next made-to-order large-scale Motu item. So there's words there. So it is a little bit mysterious. It does give us a sense that we're voting on on what could eventually go to crowdfunding. As MegaJ, who we'll talk about in a second, pointed out, it is a little bit confusing because on the one hand, it says it's a crowdfund project. And then shortly after it says next made to order large scale Motu item, which it's a dumb little nerdy distinction. But crowdfund is, it may not actually happen unless you hit a certain amount. Made to order is, it's happening. You just tell us how many, we'll get however many ordered, and we make it happen, right? Slight distinction. I'm assuming it's just kind of maybe an oversight in the text, who knows? But either way, I think the idea is we are going to get to vote on Tuesday on potentially what gets made into this either fund made to order project. Yeah.
Yeah, man. I'm excited.
Money in the bag. Which do you go for?
Totally. So the thing is, it doesn't exactly tell us, are they, because there's a number of ways they can do this. Are they going to give us pre-selected offerings with maybe some sketches or concepts or even just names and say, here's your options? Or is it truly Eternia's choice? Lego guy over here. And a couple years back, Lego in Japan was doing a thing called Kusu that eventually became Lego Ideas, where fans could kind of create a project on their website, and then other fans would vote. And if you got over 10,000 votes, then that would, I think at the end of the month, it was initially how it does then, Lego would go through it and decide, okay, which of these is actually viable, a good idea, etc., and then choose one, sometimes more than one, to produce. So there's that way of doing it where literally fans could say, how about this? Or it could be they have some ideas, you choose from them.
Right.
Curious, what would you prefer to sort of see happen with Mattel Creations and Motu Eternia's choice?
I mean, there's a lot of different ways you go about doing this.
Mhm.
I definitely will say I think it will go smoother if Mattel approaches it from here are the options, pick from these, versus trying to wade through thousands of choices from all over the world. And, I mean, with hashtags, I guess it'd be easier to track. Like, okay, if you want, Fright Zone, hashtag Fright Zone kind of thing,
Right.
But then you've got to sort out all the older hashtags as well.
True.
So it really does get a little sloppy and a little messy trying to figure out how to do that. So what I really think they should do is here's a couple of selected options. Chances are it's going to be stuff we've possibly already seen teased on box art.
Fair enough.
And they're just kind of going to field it out and see who kind of wants what and, have everybody vote. So
True. But Eldor, you yourself, I know, are not only a wizard, but a very creative being. And so I know you've got ideas aplenty. So I'm curious, how would you feel about the idea if they were actually just sort of soliciting fans' thoughts on what to do?
Well, I suppose it had to come with something that could channel all these creative ideas into a tidy arrangement.
Yeah.
And maybe they might last it a couple of weeks there while they, cat sift, you might say.
Yeah, totally.
For all these ideas and possibly
sift through the litter box
of things we had never really seen before. But yes, hopefully it goes smoothly for them.
Well, either way, I guess
weeks for them to sort all this out, or maybe a few weeks for us to come with our choices and so forth.
Yeah, I think in 2023 there's a way to do it. I'm sure there's like legal concerns maybe about getting like fan solicitations, but like, Mattel's had a history of like particularly with He-Man and Masters of the Universe, of contests where fans would submit actual figure ideas. So I don't think it's out of I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility. I'm sure they probably want to keep it simple. So maybe that's where it's going to head, where it's just, here's some things we were thinking about, take a vote. And it's not like they don't necessarily listen to the fans or have plenty of opportunities now via social media and to hear what fans are interested in. So, but you know what, at the end of the day, I guess it doesn't really matter because we're going to find out in a couple of days, right? Exactly how it's going to go. Either way. Yep. Either way, it's going to be exciting. So I love that there's sort of, at least, what they're hinting at is kind of hinting at some interest in giving the fans some say. So I love that. And before getting too far into sort of that, I do want to offer that over on the MegaJ Retro channel, he did a really, really solid video breaking down a little bit more of what Eternia's choice might mean, as well as kind of going through some of his ideas. Oh, sorry, actually before that, some of the background and the history with Mattel Creations projects in general, which I think was really helpful to keep in mind. Like, I'm a fan of context and history. So it's always helpful for me to remember, oh yeah, they tried that. Oh, that didn't work. That was $400. That was about this size. So, what could work? And, I think at the end of the day, Mattel obviously does their research and is keeping all of their successes and maybe, not quite successes in mind when thinking through these things. Yeah, looking at you, Jurassic Park Gates. But it's interesting because, again, people are still waiting for this thing, right? And that hasn't even arrived yet. And, the engines of capital continue, and they want to make sure that the next big Motu thing is on your mind, maybe so that you're not filling too much of your space with, I don't know, NECA dioramas and Super 7 gigantic cat slayers.
Look,
right?
look. Okay, I got one thing to say about that. I
Go
don't
for
think anybody's really filling their space with NECA dioramas.
Somebody, come on, that's some fans.
There are some people that are totally sold.
Sure.
Probably not the same people who are buying Eternia, though. You got to be pretty diehard turtle to go for. And I really don't try to beat up on it too much. I just think, what were they really, really thinking?
I 100% agree with you. It's a little weird. Sorry, I'm chewing ice, but
it's all good.
Anyway, I just, I wanted to throw you to that MegaJ video, not just because of the history and the breakdown, super thorough, but also because he shared a bunch of cool possibilities and ideas based on, things that he's seen. And I'm going to just quickly kind of scrub through this, like the Eternals Palace, etc. Right. So I actually, so we can take a look at it in his video. And again, I'll send you to his video, and that'll be in that QR code that I was referring to earlier and that link. But let's take a look a little bit about some of the things that he threw out there. And, Eldor, since you actually were of this world, I'm sure you have an affinity here with this big beast. So tell us what we're looking at real quick.
Yes, and this is a Brontosaurus type of vehicle. There you can play in with the giants, as we see the two lads there within that photo, and
having the best time of their lives.
These dinosaurs, you could either fit the figures on top or sometimes inside the dinosaur itself, and you'd have usually some weapons there off to the sides and what have you.
Yep.
But quite a large vehicle indeed, or animal rather. And indeed, we see Mattel nowadays with Jurassic World. They released their colossal series, Dinosaurs, which, as we know, are quite relatively large there. But I suppose they probably need to upscale if they did release the Powers of Grayskull Dinosaurs.
But these were never released, right? So these were they were planned.
Like the Tyrannosaurus and the Turbodactyl and
the smaller one.
Sadly, the line died shortly after that because indeed they used the dinosaurs as a way to keep Motu alive and keep the interest for the children there, because playing on that interest of dinosaurs and what have you.
Totally. So, I mean, could this be the kind of thing maybe to revisit this and actually get this like they did with Eternia, right? Eternia, where they make like 2,000 of those, and they were pretty spendy back in the day, back in the late 80s. So not a whole lot of people actually got them. Could they revisit some of this and give this to collectors as something they could, now actually own? And of course,
it is a hard one, because you know how we can see what Mattel's bringing out these days in retail and so forth.
Sure.
And with the colossal dinosaurs, it wouldn't probably be too hard for them to do this. But I guess too, the name Masters of the Universe doesn't ring well with everybody. And
but I think that's the beauty of
it. Could be a matter of interest in Motu itself, of
and
course.
I think that's where the beauty of Eternia's choice, if we're understanding it, because it's going to be a potentially crowdfunded or made to order project, you take that concern a little bit out of that. You're already kind of, geez, it hasn't even launched on Tuesday, and here we are bringing people in to talk about this thing, right? So it's generating interest. This is the sort of tricks that these corporations, Mattel, Hasbro, are understanding now and learning about the way some of the indie companies, and that's a plug for later tonight topic.
So
but
they did this in kind of a multi-box set, perhaps. So you had the Tyrannosaurus and the Bionatops and Pterodactyl all included in the one set, perhaps. There.
And that's just really one of the things. And I'll kind of move a little bit quicker. Not everybody got to get Starship Eternia, plus with the the New Adventures He-Man popping up in Origins form with that SDCC pack, and maybe in the future, but definitely also coming out in the Masterverse line. This could be something they offer. Eldar, you wanted me to make sure I included this from New Adventures, right? This is again one of these things that
Nordor there.
Nordor,
Death Star, you might say.
And I completely forgot about this until you told me about it just before we started.
Indeed, I saw one for sale recently in the markets up near the parts of the island there. It still had its box, and there was a wee lad pictured in front there holding it, and it's probably about the size of his upper torso there. So
so again, the idea of maybe the idea of bringing in some of these like rare pieces, giving it another shot. Then of course this is like the territory of concept art that never got established. This was by, what was his name? Stuart. It's down here. Stuart Cameron. And I believe this is dated 2014. Some of them are 2013. Some of them are a little later. But some concepts that he did for Classics playset, the Classics line. Again, could be something that comes up. This was a custom by Kendall Studios. Unrelated, but clearly based on that concept art. This is just to give us some sense. And again, MegaJ does a much better job, so check out that video. And in fact, I won't even show you the next couple ones, because you should just go and check out MegaJ's video. But this is awesome. This is a Fright Zone, and there's some bits in this that are a fun surprise. Again, if you check out MegaJ's coverage, and you know what, I'm going to throw in the link to MegaJ's shared stream with Toy Habits too, where they showed you a little bit more about what's going on with this concept as well. That's really exciting. You can kind of already see down here, it's incorporating some of the things that were released in retail, right? So, interesting. Could we put that into a larger playset and make that into a bigger sort of world? But yeah, some good stuff. Naked He-Man in a box. Portal to talk to. Horde Prime. So I'm going to skip, like I said, the last one, which is actually really cool, but I don't want to spoil too much and take away from Jay's thunder, because he did a really cool video. So check that out. Okay.
I haven't seen that one before.
You haven't seen that? Okay.
No, quite impressive looking there indeed.
So let's go ahead and pause there for a second, and let's just check in with the chat and see who's showing up to hang out with us.
Oh, yes.
Hello, friends. I feel like Romper Room. Did our friends have fun at play? Jim Largo is here today. Oh, no. Sorry. It bums me out so much when I cover my guests. So there you go. You can cover me. How's it going, man? There's this dude. Oz everywhere. Here, there, everywhere. Cobb. Cobweb, what's going on, man? Thank you for joining us.
Chats at once.
Pains, hope you're feeling better. Saw your post. There will be no toy therapy tonight, and get some rest.
Yes. Get well soon there, sir. Indeed.
You're smarter than me, Pains. I am technically sick today, but I'm doing this. This is part of my healing. Again, this guy. Star, what's going on?
Everywhere.
Hope you're doing well. As much as I love having you, I'll just spare you. There will be no AWOC or Cosmic Legions mentioned tonight. So just want to actually, that's not true. There might be some cosmic connections. But
it's going to be a little.
Yeah, I know what you like, Star. Carol, good to see you. Beautiful dragon. What is that? That is awesome.
Right? She's got good taste.
Sorry, I can't resist, Skyfall. Good to see you. Kayla, hola, ¿qué pasó, Kayla? And Kayla again invokes violence on the like button. She's intense like that. Bud, how's it going? Good to see you. Thank you for joining us. Bud, you'll be proud of me. My son and I just finished Breath of the Wild. Radical
Nice.
Toys, Adam, good to see you. Hello. This guy I haven't seen in a while. Good to see you, figuratively speaking. Also with a dope logo. And I'm just going to kind of skip to see who all is here. Christina, thank you for joining us. Great to see you. Dawning of a Decade. Go check out that channel. Awesome to see you here too. Thank you. And J Mac, what's going on? J Mac 77 of the 77 variety. Danny Phillips, good to see you. Hope everything is good in your neck of the globe. Hal Jordan, Green Lantern of Green Lantern fame of our sector. Good to see you.
What's going on, in the darkest night there.
Let's see. I'm going to come back to this real quick. I just want to, we didn't say this while we were talking about the Eternia's collection. Thank you, Danny. I just want to say that I hope that whatever happens, there's a way to kind of bridge the gap, especially if we do play sets the way they did with Eternia between Origins and Masterverse. Because I don't know. If I was Mattel, I'd be thinking, let's catch them all kind of a thing. But anyway, just to throw that out. There's lots of things that folks are. Let me keep going through what's going on a U83, aka you just revealed your secret identity there via Facebook. What's going on?
Oh,
Unmasked. Nolan is here. Nolan, what's going on? Wow, I'm kind of surprised. It took a while to get to Nolan. What's going on, Nolan?
Oh, Nolan?
Long day?
Yes.
He's usually like up there.
Nolan without the Nolan.
Yeah. And let's see if I'm missing anybody. If I am, I apologize. Speaking moistly, I believe it's pronounced moistly. Moist. Hold on. Moist. Speaking moistly. Moistly. Okay. Speaking moistly. What's going on? That was from my friend Kayla. And let's see. Rolando Flores. What's going on, man? Hello. Good to see you. Chef and matey.
What's cooking there, Chef?
I love people's thumbnails, man. Slice Life Gaming. What's going on? Hello. Oh, and yes, we get emojis in words.
That's right.
Duchess.
That's right.
The Duchess of Darkness. Good to see you. Let's see. Am I missing? Oh, Music Fan 88. What's going on? Yes. Oh, sorry, man. I wasn't minding the chat, so I'm not exactly sure which one you were talking about, but there were so many cool things that were shown on MegaJ's that I kind of scrubbed through. Hey, what's going on, Neil Hunter Hyde?
Afternoon there, sir.
He says, hello, Oz. Oh, yeah, and you guys too. No, I'm just kidding. Hi, Neil.
Elder's word.
We see how it is. No,
that's how it goes sometimes.
This guy, Eldor, what's going on? And then
what's he doing there?
He's all over the place. Thanos, what's going on? Thanos, my first co-host of the.
I'm a bit omnipresent there today, you might say.
Weekly. Yep. Sergeant Slaughterhouse. What's going on, Zazel? Thank you so much
Zazel
for hopping in. God, I am so not a pro when it comes to this. Look at this guy. No AWOC. I'm out. Peace. See you later. We'll talk Sunday on your channel, Monkey Business, all about AWOC for a good hour plus. So
careful with all that monkeying around.
I can't bore you with the non-AWOC stuff. Adam, thanks for stopping in. Paul Morales, what's going on?
Oh, yes. Afternoon, sir.
Yeah, sorry. I hope this is Eternia in Ellipse. I haven't seen you in a bit too. Good to see you, man. Thank you so much for hopping on. I love this. I don't know, man. It's like some kind of like alpha Ewok. And let's see.
Did you just say Ewok is an alpha Ewok?
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
my
Isn't that right?
god!
Isn't that right? Is that not right?
Isn't that just
Okay.
a Wookiee?
Yeah. All right. So again, we've got this whole new world that Mattel is trying to open up with their crowdfunding offerings in China, giving us a choice. So we'll have to sort of see how that all works. And yeah, so again, check out that MegaJ video, check out that Toy Habits, and that QR code down there and that URL that's flashing across the screen will take you after the sort of live stream. I'll get that up and give you all the links so you can go there easily. You know, you can spread this stuff out. You don't got to see it all in one shot. But let's keep going with sort of the news-ish stuff. And I want to talk a little bit about one of my favorite customizers in the game, Hombre X,
Yes.
aka Hordak MX, aka Jose Luis Morea out of Mexico. This dude has received a lot of my money because he deserves it. His work is fantastic. He does a lot of custom heads, and you can kind of see here on the left being the 40th anniversary offering from Mattel, and then his take on a Masterverse head on the right for a more classic He-Man. Anybody in the chat also have any of these Hordak MX heads, or do either of you guys partake of the Hordak MX?
I've only admired from afar, at this point. I have not actually purchased any of his stuff. But since I started collecting Origins and have been involved in different Facebook groups and stuff that, and then coming into Instagram too, Hordak MX's stuff is everywhere. And
Absolutely.
It looks so good. Just amazing.
I was gonna totally be a bad place and walk away because I love his work, and I know I'm not really zoomed in, but whatever, you get the idea. He does some really solid stuff with these custom heads. And so is that right? I'm guessing because I'm not looking at the screen. Oh, there it is. That's not right. There it is. That's a custom Hordak MX new Eternia head. And so I've got his, younger brother / maybe son with him. So
yes, I've used that new Eternia, the actual new Eternia head sculpt in my custom cold art there.
Yep.
I'm using another one in my custom King Hiss.
I love your Coldar.
He has that King Hiss looking face about him.
That was one of the first videos that I saw of yours, Eldor, and that and the Mosquitor. Anyway, back to this customizer. The reason I'm bringing him up is because he is actually at a convention. Was it Zolokan, I want to say?
Zolokan?
One of those, I think.
That was the most recent.
Yeah, so he was recently here in the States at a convention selling his stuff, which was kind of a good deal. Yeah, it was Zolokan because you can see the down here Zolokan exclusive head down here, $30, glow in the dark.
Look at it. Oh, you said my bane.
Well, those He-Man heads look like they'd go on the Mondo figure, perhaps.
Yeah, that's what I assume, right? That Adam and that. I mean, I'll just say Hordak MX's stuff is fantastic, but I kind of would have to scratch my head if you feel the need to replace your Mondo heads, because those are beautiful too. But
I know,
to each their own. You've got a Moss Man. This is a new one that I haven't seen. Sorry, what's that, Oz?
Well, I was just gonna say, like the variation that he gives you too. Like this is the perfect example of it.
Yep.
Same character, 4 different heads.
Yep.
Choose your flavor.
Yep. It's almost as if he's a Masters of the Universe fan who saw what Mattel was doing and repainting their stuff, right? But yes, giving us the variety. And I say that because that's totally, in my head, was the DNA of Motu, right? Just the very cool repainted figures that as a kid I just kind of bought. Yeah, these are completely different characters. I've got this one, and this one. Just, and
it's Christmas feel there.
Yeah, this one. And it's just like, it's silly. It's actually, they're not cheap, but I'm paying oftentimes, more than I am for the figures. But 2 things, like one, if for my sort of adult collection, I like the idea of having a real cool figure that I want to display that represents the character, and also just like, I don't know, I'm supporting a dude who makes these, who like handcrafts these and stuff. These are old school.
Right.
These are all done sculpted in resin, not with molds. He's
Yep.
not using 3D printing. Not that there's anything wrong with 3D printing, but he's doing this like by hand, and it reminds me, like when I order from him, I get
There's a special something that you get with a handcrafted pieces.
Yeah. So,
It's almost a dying art, you might say.
To me,
the 3D printing around.
There's a bit more value there too, to me, because somebody really poured their heart and soul into this. It wasn't just mass produced by a machine. And again, I'm not counting a 3D printing as a machine, because anybody who's had one knows that's hours and hours of work just waiting for that thing to finish. And if you have to print multiple pieces to put together for something overall, that takes a while, and that's a lot of hard work too. It takes a lot of patience. This is something that they very carefully went through and handcrafted from the ground up. And that to me is worth a bit more.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for helping me feel better about the ridiculous amounts of money that I've spent. But no, I agree with you. I feel like I'm a patron of the arts, really. That's how I feel with this stuff. So thank you so much to him for the work that he's putting out there, because I haven't been the most kind to some of the Masterverse heads, and I haven't been into them, but I want to keep buying the figures and represent these characters, and he's actually made it possible for me to do that. I just get super excited. Like this King Grayskull was actually one of the first things on my channel. The very first video on my channel featured that head. So all right. So
I remember that one.
Yeah, Hordak MX was at Zolokan, and if you don't know about him, check him out. Let's zoom through some newsy stuff. Okay,
Yes.
Hero Toys. Are either of you World of Warcraft people? No?
I am a recovering WoW addict.
Sure.
I've been in recovery since 2012. It's actually surprisingly almost the same amount of time.
Well, welcome to the meeting. We will support you.
You're taking your first steps there, sir, to recovery.
Right.
Well,
got to admit you had the problem first.
Yeah, this might not be the best. This might be me enabling a little bit, because Hero Toys, a third-party company overseas, their pre-order for their version of essentially Illidan, right? Who is a character from Warcraft and then World of Warcraft. Giant demon, purple, big ass sort of wings, full on wrapped arms, like the whole thing. The character has always looked amazing. And if you'll notice, those eyes glowing.
Yes.
Well, they're
and he's
Hero Toys.
Too.
Yep. And the body too. You're right. And they see the light over here, the glowing. That's not a special effect.
Might speak to some light piping, perhaps.
There is. These are LEDs. So he is LED enabled. So these things will light up. I don't know if that's going to extend to the hand. I mean, that seems that's going to seem a little tricky if you're moving wires, but at least the torso and the eyes. And so this thing just went up for pre-order. It's over at, I thought it was at 5K. I didn't see it just now. It's at 33 Toys is what I have up here. I'll put whatever links I can find to it in those eventual links to that QR code. The sculpt is just phenomenal. It looks like there's a cool butterfly going on. So, a lot of these third-party things, like, the bears that I got and the tiger that I've shown on the channel, or even like the big wolf from D20. They're a little bit of a crapshoot, right? Especially if you're pre-ordering or ordering them before anybody's had them in hand. But you know me, I like to check things out and kind of see what's out there. And I kind of like to see new things and different things. So anytime I hear of maybe a new company tackling action figures, I kind of want to see how they do it and how they pull it off. And so far, man, these companies are just sculpt, deco, like just next level stuff. So
we're fans of critters and stuff, Brick. You and I are always talking about our critters, and we're loving Creative Beast Studio, what they're doing with some dragons coming out. But I ain't gonna lie, I kind of want to see what these guys could do with the Deathwing.
Yeah, man, and it's again
chills.
a little bit of a
Chills.
plug for, I mentioned it earlier, tonight on MegaJ Retro at 10 p.m. Pacific. I'm gonna be on there talking with him about indie toys, and it's funny to think that these small companies coming out of seemingly nowhere are able to actually track down international talent, like, because a lot of these are sculptors that are in different parts of the world, designers different parts of the world, and kind of work with them to create these figures, and now they're producing them and selling them. So that's a little bit about what we're going to talk about tonight over on MegaJ's at 10. And you want some AWOC talk, Jason Bienvenu, internet willing, Louisiana internet willing, will be joining us, and we'll actually hear from an indie toy maker. But that was my attempt to do a in-program plug.
That's right. You gotta plug it.
Illidan Storm Rage, if you didn't know, if you wanted to know, and I just wanted to show this so you could actually sort of see what the character looked like. And I think they did a great job of capturing this guy in plastic. So
yeah, they did. They really did.
Yeah. All right, moving on. Just a quick thing. I mentioned the tiger, which is chilling over there. There's a new soft goods kit for him, because if you've got your tiger, of course he's got to wear the fur of some other animal.
Yes, I have my tiger there soon.
Yes, I'm so happy you're getting that, Eldor.
It's
but
got
check
fellow,
this out.
especially getting these in now. So
just some gorgeous work, soft goods. I grew up in an era where soft goods didn't quite work out so well. They were still cool, but nowadays, just with there's just so much.
It was very rare that you got capes and what have you with the action figures.
Well, they were normally cheap. They were just cheap, and they'd fray, and
and not sometimes always not fray. And maybe I'm just a little aesthetic snob, but I remember my Kenner Return of the Jedi Luke in Jabba's palace with it, and then you put the cape on him, and he just looked like a giant ghost because this cloak was just so huge. And so
gonna pop out and yell boo.
Yeah, I mean, they improved from the vinyl capes, but still those had their day, and they were there's a nostalgia associated with it. But
yes, I got my tiger to put with my figure obscura, Sun Wukong, that I'm also
perfect. Yep. Yeah. All right, let me check in real quick before I get too far. So you're not the only one who was a big WoW fan. Nice. So yes, totally aka counts. Warcrack. Yeah, Hal Jordan would totally you'll have to check out Hordak MX. Please do. I don't think he has a hooded Cobra Commander. He doesn't do a whole lot of Joes, but man, there's a ton. And you know what? One of these days I'll do a news focus on some of the awesome third-party other heads, like for classifieds and LCs you can check out. Let's see. Yep, folks definitely are feeling the World of Warcraft stuff. Hylian Dread, good to see you. Yep, reminds me of gargoyles. Could be the giant wings that will take over your shelves. Yes, Thanos. I'm surprised that that's not something you've seen before, Thanos. I feel like you probably have seen that. Maybe not. Of course, Star. Of course, Star would. You're absolutely right, Star. Could StarCraft be far behind Warcraft, right? That's the whole Mythic Legions to Cosmic Legions, right? Warcraft was Warcraft, then came StarCraft.
I'd love a Hydralisk. Oh man, that'd be so good.
Yep. Sorry. Yeah, I've been accused of introducing people to things and making them things that they weren't aware of and making them spend too much money, but not my goal necessarily. Yeah, the whole soft goods thing back in the day. You know what? Again, I think there was a time and place for it. I grew up with some Migos too, and they were cool, like Spider-Man, plastic head, but cool suit. But
Mego did better soft goods than most.
They did, but I mean, okay. And wired capes and all that. I don't know. I'm a little too, maybe I'm just too, I don't know what the word is. I'm too something. Waiting for Veteran Williams, produced by the same company that does this tiger.
Okay.
Yes.
So
The
cool.
Veteran
cool.
Williams, hands down, one of my favorite toys of this year. Period.
Yep. I pass on the original once I saw that the Whiteford version is coming. So I ordered a Whiteford version because I feel like I've got a lot of kind of like brownish stuff, and I feel like the brown one or the grayish one would have kind of disappeared on my shelf, but the White Wolf I feel like will totally pop.
White Wolf just got a better ring to it anyway. So
racist. No, I'm just kidding. All right, so moving on.
Look, man. Look, I was talking about Bucky, okay? That's only MCU variant, by the way. Comic book White Wolf was a different character.
Yeah. So let's go ahead and look at some awesome customs, folks, in the customs corner. Since we started and focused a lot on Motu today, and I've got I know some of the biggest Motu heads in the game, Oz and Elder, with me, I wanted to share some things that I saw Motu related. I just, if I could show you everything from Motu.Revolution, I would. But this is dope. It's actually, these are Motu.Revolution. It kind of aggregates this stuff, grabs this stuff. And so this is by A. Beltran Photography. You can see the name there. And again, I'll give you the direct links and everything after this. But he's kind of got this really cool, I'm assuming Eternal's Palace, but a little bit on the sort of grayer side. Sets with like showing the Randor figure and the Marlena figure and the guards. This is one of my favorite figures ever, this Adora.
Family there.
Just sort of showing them in the palace. So this was a cool little photo series.
So I managed to get that Prince Adam figure there a few months ago.
This one, cool.
Yeah.
4 horsemen sculpted.
I believe he was packed in with the Orko. So he's a bit of an accessory.
Yep. That's nice. And I showed this one in particular just because it's the whole Game of Thrones, right? Iron Throne, all these different power swords. I thought that was pretty hot. Well, they're not all quite power swords. There's something going on down here. Is this even Motu or are these Mythic Legions?
The two at the very, well, at least the one on, 2 of them at least on the left look like Mythic Legions. I know that one right there is Classics, but I can't remember what character it came from.
Oh, this one right here.
The one on, well, it's on my left.
That
one,
the
one your mouse this is over right now is Legions.
Okay, that's
and then there's one a little bit above that's Legions as well. That's kind of longer.
Yep.
Then the one to the other side, that sword with like the red gem.
Oh, okay.
That one was Classics.
Gotcha. Yeah, and I'm pretty sure the rest of these are,
those are all classic.
Yep.
Yeah.
Anyway, like the world of Masters of the Universe is not wanting in terms of people doing cool customs. But these are out of order. Let's pause for a second. Let's go to some other 4 Horsemen stuff. And this is from actionfigure.showroom. Mark Calvo did this 3D printed head. I tried to sort of figure out where to source this, but it says Swar snake head sculpt has been modified to fit with 1.0 torsos too. So like my assumption is that they made this head sculpt, and then here showing it here for a 1.0 figure. This is a Cosmic Legions figure, Oleg Thygar.
Yep.
And then sized up. Here's this. And then here it is sized up for an ogre scale. Actually, it's slightly different. Yeah, slightly different head with longer teeth. But sized up for an ogre scale Cosmic Legions figure whose name I'm forgetting.
Oh, that's out of the first. See, because I don't. Star, help us out here, brother.
He's in a box down here to my right. He started probably.
Me also.
Yeah. I don't know, but who cares? It's fucking awesome. Look at that thing.
Gorgeous.
I think it looks perfect on that body.
There's got the old Fangor going on there for sure.
What's that? Fangor?
It's got the old Fangor going on there for sure.
He's a
Need to
total
get-
Fangor.
Need to get some green variants popping on this guy. 'Cause
I
That
suppose
guy
as a
looks
custom or
so
tribute, you
good.
could
ogre scale
manage, I
here,
suppose.
and I'm in love with
Scourge.
this. This is
So
hands
just a
down one
couple
of my
more.
favorite figures.
Yes, that's us. I'm so excited. Here's the profile shot and a little bit of a 3/4 view. But just somebody else said it on the GDL Discord today. Just like I think it was Chris from Shiny Plastic People. He's like he gets so frustrated with Mythic Legion's customs because he sees them, they look so damn good and so professional that he thinks it's something he can buy and then realizes, oh, it's a one-off custom. Boo.
Right. So we
Which-
got some help from the chat, both
Yes.
Omar and Star Kragnar.
Thank
There
you.
we go. Yeah.
Appreciate you guys.
Yeah, so you wouldn't think that the three of us have a show called Legion's Class.
Look, man, I get so overwhelmed with how epic they look. I cannot remember names. I'm most of the time speechless.
Yeah,
Too much
hey,
research there. You might say.
I'm an actual educator, and I will say any educator who feigns as if they know everything isn't worth their salt. So here are the couple different heads. You can see the different variants with the tongue out, with the longer fangs. Again, just some really cool stuff that I will link to when the news links go up. Continuing on with the Legion's Fair. I showed Emil Wickman on last week's regularly scheduled news on Sunday, where I was co-hosted with Alice and Troy. Some Emil Wickman customs. Right? Yeah. And so since then, Emil posted this. I think it was this yesterday or Wednesday. His take on Darth Vader. If you couldn't tell.
Right. Which I love this. When he dropped it earlier this week, I was like, kind of want to offer Emil money to buy it. Like, I just want to buy
fantastic, creative fellow there.
You and everyone else, Oz. I'm sure that guy got so many solicitations for this. Like, give me one. In fact, I was checking out his. They do the Legion's Cast, I think is what it's called, yesterday. And that was one of my questions was like, hey, man, are you doing these as one-offs? Are you doing multiples so that, maybe a couple people? And he's like, yeah, I do them as one-offs mainly. I don't like to. I like the people who buy them to feel like they're getting something unique and special. Not to feel like, to actually know that they're unique and special and have, which is.
It's a one of a kind in their collection.
But I mean, 1 of 5, 1 of 10, 1 of 20. Come on, man.
You know what the best thing is, though?
No, the power of the
you can start. I mean, aside from some custom pieces in there, you can kind of piece this guy together for yourself.
You could.
Like, you could point the body parts. It's a skull that he's got back there. The mask is from one of the new Cosmic Legions. So, like, you can piece what you need to make this.
Yeah,
but I mean, it won't have his particular craftsmanship, though.
You're right, Oz, and thank you for pointing that out. So for those of you who are not too familiar, underneath this helmet, where's the helmet from? Is that from the Xylernian Guard, like kind of stretched out or something?
And that's what it looks like to me. Like maybe he used some heat on it and kind of stretched it out to fit around the mask and all to give it that more buckety look.
So might be, we're not totally sure, but that could be a helmet from a Mythic Legions figure that's stretched out. That definitely is a Mythic Legions.
The helmet and headpieces you have to dream all out, of course, but the plastic's fairly soft and you can heat form it.
The head is definitely a Mythic Legions skull. The face mask is from Vorga from Cosmic Legion. So these, as I said, these are all mostly Mythic Legions parts. I don't know where the cape is from. It could be or could not be, from Mythic
custom.
Legions. But yeah, they're just piecing things together because the Four Horsemen brilliantly made their figures with a system of interchangeable parts. And so that's what we're getting. Such cool stuff, man. And his, it's just,
sword
it's really
is
cool.
also unique too. I'm not sure where that sword's from.
I like the idea of kind of, not exactly chasing down the character, but still trying to be a tribute in the vein of the many Masters of the Universe tributes that Mythic Legions have done. So,
Well, it's
Anyway,
just nice that.
Go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, it's just nice that now with Cosmic Legions, you've got some of these other pieces to come in now that you can really make different kinds of homage figures, because this would not have been possible to make with your standard Mythic Legions. So
yeah, you're right. You
and
wouldn't have
even
this
if you
mask.
can't find most of the details you're looking for, most of that can be represented in the color that you have painted on there, of course.
And of course, I love the little painting of the bolts, the different colors to represent his sort of chest apparatus.
His light bright.
His light bright, his cosmic light bright. Okay, so that was our little venture away from Motu, but since I've got these guys on here, let's talk a little bit more Motu. Let's talk Dplex. So I didn't realize, is this for a contest called Scraps? Is that what's happening? Because he says, here's my scrap submission. Firstly, my apologies. I came late to the game and I previously posted my submission. So I wasn't sure if like Scraps is a contest. It looks like it is.
Yeah, it would appear to be.
Yeah.
I am so used to his kind of out there customs that I didn't even think to look at the hashtags. But I believe, oh yes, that's definitely it, because I'm looking at several different. If you check out hashtag Scraps on IG, you're gonna see some weird shit, people.
Okay.
So
and
I'll leave it at that.
Oops. Yeah, I won't necessarily bring it up right now. And I'm gonna while you're talking, I'm gonna show. What's that? I'm just while you're talking, I'm gonna show some of the chats because
indeed he does his other customs as per usual, and they pop up in IG there from time to time. So yes, I follow him there and enjoy looking at what he comes up with.
He did a flamethrower, or well, not Dplexel, but in Scraps, if you look up the hashtag, looks like it was from Toysaholics. Somebody did a flamethrower teddy bear. Just saying. It's an Ewok with a flamethrower on it, and I am all about it.
So we will have to, we'll have to cycle through those at a different time. But I want to show you some of this customizer Scraps. But yeah, Thanos has been seeing other people doing Scraps as well. I'm assuming then it truly is all about the scraps, right? The fodder, the leftover bits and pieces you have in your.
Looks like you want to use a snake from a vintage a Snake Mountain.
Perhaps. Yep. That's what I was thinking too. I'm assuming that's the Snake Mountain head. I'm assuming that's a Battle Cat or Panther and all of this.
Battle Cat.
What a cool like combination of stuff to create a whole new little creature. Right.
Yeah, he dremeled out like the body and started measuring up. Like you can see a lot of it. Here's his scraps.
Oh yes, but, you can see the body of it there.
Yep, he does a lot of really cool work. His mind, like there are a couple of really unique minds in the Motu customizing community. Dplexel is one of those. And so is Broman or Mr. Fontno on IG. He's actually going to be an upcoming guest of Toy Frenzy. So
nice.
But yeah.
Look at that. Action feature.
So sweet. It's spring.
Excellent. Yeah.
Look.
Even better. Action feature.
I love this.
I was wondering what that little button was. That's dope. Look at this guy. So props to you, Dplex. But wait, there's so much more. So here we got Brain Candy Customs, another like one of those customizers that I follow that like clearly what I appreciate about him is that he's got, or appreciate about them, I don't know who they are, is that they've clearly got like their own style. Like you look at this and you go, boom, I know that that's Brain Candy Customs just by the paint job and sort of even the concept really. Out of this, out of the box thinking with some of this stuff.
It's totally kind of your fearless dog looking fellow there with the mechanized head.
With the big old Punisher skull. Yeah, hashtag Scraps. Yeah, Thanos saw that too. Awesome. And then let's see.
Flamethrower teddy bears. That's all I'm saying.
So maybe if you can put it in the private chat, and I'll throw it up. It sounds awesome. So again, just I love that he also does or they also do it in packaging, which is very cool. The Search Or Nobody Can Hide from Search Or available for the first time. God, can you imagine if they even put like a mini comic, a fake mini comic, or an actual mini comic in their cover?
Oh my God!
Very cool. And of course,
there's many other great
logo.
things about him too. He does the Brain Candy. Always does like the packaging too, and I gotta love the customizer that can go that extra mile and get the packaging. This was one of the first things that really impressed me about Joe Amato's customs. Like they are just that next level. Like there's good, and then there's that extra bit, and these guys definitely go for
that extra good. Yeah,
his He-Man custom switch outs are rather good looking as well. Rather interesting.
What I also like about Brain Candy, like when I hear the word Brain Candy, obviously the notion of brain candy, but also like there's a drip to it, man. There's like a sweet wetness to these things. Like, I don't know, I see it here, and that's something that I see a lot in their sort of use of paint.
Yep.
Let's see what else was there. Another so keeping along with Brain Candy, this is not a scraps, but this is just straight paint skills, right? This is just, I've got the old vintage Roton and let me paint it and show you what I can do.
Let me show Mattel what they lack. But again, Mattel's doing the real quick. We're just printing this out, mass production. It is not this handcrafted art. This
it's not something you'd see Sabine Wren do in the old Star Wars.
There you go. Good pull. Absolutely. Yes. So this is dope. Just, not much more to say, but I just love how it really does bring out that like classic Motu trope of creating vehicles, mixing them in with creatures, right? So like really bringing out that creature's face more than the original sculpted. I mean, the sculpt was there. It was just the eyes really, and just the shading and everything.
Sometimes all you need is a bit of paint to make things look a bit better.
Yeah. And I love how these things actually look like they're metal. They look like skate bearings or ball bearings or something.
Yes. I thought that same thing looking at this piece. Like, he definitely just took apart some machine and he put it on the end. Like, this is your post-apocalyptic Roton that's going to fuck up some zombies or something.
Yep.
Look, if you look there in the his legs, you can see Eldor. You can see like myself in there.
Oh, totally. Yeah, because those are. Let me see if
that's how we roll.
Bring this and on the scraps tip. Thank you. Let's call an audible.
Flamethrower teddy bear with the Fallout helmet and the tanks.
There you
this
go.
Is it right here. This is it right here.
I take it back. This is Toysaholics with a K, and I take it back. This might be the Alpha Ewok.
This is definitely the Alpha Ewok.
Ain't or no the Ewok about it. Compensating.
Yes, if you need a bit of an old spit roast on the go, they're well armed.
That compensating comment that takes on a whole different meaning.
Yeah, I know. Sorry, Han. They're bringing in the Ewok with a flamethrower.
Yes, you won't be able to blow it up this time.
Actually, I forgot. Sorry, there is one more Motu. Here we go. So here's another Brain Candy. You'll appreciate the title of this one. This is the Eternian. I think it's called the Eternian Centipede. Yeah, the Eternian Centipede.
Eternian Centipede. Oh,
with all the talk of the human centipede on your stream.
Or the battle heroes.
Like at least their mouths aren't touching, I guess. But because we all know where those other mouths linked up. Oof.
But this is hot, man. This is like, the bloody guts all shoved together. This is some weird, like they try to go through a portal and came out all wrong on the other side.
Yeah. Like, again, Brain Candy and Dplex, Mr. Fontenot, if you guys want to see a brain melting Eternia, like, Masters of the Universe stuff, these guys put out some of the most twisted, but it's twisted but completely artistic.
Yeah.
It looks like something out of the old Witcher there.
Oh yeah, it's definitely straight out of The Witcher.
All right, let's sort of see what folks are before we do our little focus. Let's see. Black Phoenix. I follow Brain Candy Customs, but sometimes his creations are a little too gory and bloody for me. I hear you, especially
you don't say.
Yeah, I mean, I hear that. They're definitely probably challenging the brand itself, right? If you think about Masters of the Universe, didn't necessarily ever get to that gore, but
like you said, he's compensating,
To be clear, it was the Ewok who was compensating. I don't know Brain Candy. I'm not, I ain't gonna judge someone's psychology. Been waiting for the Masterverse Panther. Amen. Thinking about doing a repair on Battle Cat since he's pretty cheap up here in Canada. Yep, you can. I have an extra one sitting too. I haven't yet figured out what I want to do with them. And time isn't the whole thing. The other Motu line is just going too deep. Yeah. Let's see what other folks.
I could see.
Not sure Masterverse is gonna get a Panther, but I'd go for it. Yeah, I don't know either, only because it wasn't in Revelation, but it would be easy enough, right?
They could do the Beastman as a battle beast, as we saw him getting transformed there by Evil in.
I think the fact that those battle cats are so available and cheap is probably not a great sign for the possibility of.
They were available and cheap. I don't even see them in my stores anymore. But then again, I don't see a lot of Masters in my stores.
I suppose a lot of people had done customs out of those. You could grab one of them and do what you like.
Yeah.
Well, I was going to say our very own. No, read it.
Or just Quip was saying, yeah, a lot of these designs, they might not be your style, but damn, definitely A for execution.
Yeah, you see that artwork in there. Like, even if you don't necessarily care for it, you can appreciate the work that went into it.
Yeah, absolutely. Because these customizers, like, just even from conceptualization, right? Just like folks are just brilliant, and just you can tell, like,
it might look good placed around your indoor cactus plants there, perhaps a bit of decoration there.
Well, hey, on that note, let's go ahead and move into That's What's Up, which is sort of the section where I kind of highlight maybe like something a little bit further, a little bit go in and just talk a little bit and focus on something a little bit more. I can't talk today. But for That's What's Up, there was this guy, speaking of brilliant, creative people, this person here, Masterversal Toy Hunter, if you're not familiar, has a YouTube channel, has a brilliant IG where he sort of shares his stuff. Has been a customizer and cosplayer, artist extraordinaire for, can I say decades? Can I say eons? Eons. You seem
eras,
like an old
eons,
yeah,
millennias.
And so much longer than my YouTube channel, you might say.
So when he posted this, today, was it just today or yesterday? 18 hours ago.
Last night, rather.
Yeah. And so I will tell you right now, Eldor, part of the reason we're doing this special new breaking news thing, yes, it was the Eternia's Choice thing, but it was like, can I get as many eyeballs on Eldor's work here, as well as just like, can I have the space to just geek out and fawn over it? Because I think it's absolutely brilliant. So
indeed, many fellows have done their own sort of dio build-ups such as this to put their Castle Grayskull on top of. But yes, indeed, in all the talk about the Eternia Choice, a lot of people are digging back from what came out in the 80s or what didn't come out. And things that were just developed, like a Lady Slither's Lair and what have you. And there were some choices about costume props there, like the Cosmic Key, perhaps. And I thought, well, how about thoughts outside the square there, what you might like to see that's never been done before? And so I thought, what about a bit of a playset-based platform that you could put your Castle Grayskull on top of it.
Yes.
I thought the name Subternia and the Crystal Caves playset. So you had
Thank you
Subternia
so
on the lower
much.
decks there, and
Mhm.
somewhere on the second floor you had the Crystal Caves, and of course the dungeon where all the monsters and Frogmonger and that are all trapped in there, and so
Yeah, man.
as you know too, on the back door of Castle Grayskull, which in Super 7 they did include, and you had Scareglow's
Yep.
key to open it up. So I
Yep.
included up to the side there just a bit of a
Yes, over
wall
here.
piece with the winding stairs that could account for an opening door, and you could make your way down to Subternia there, the dark and gloomy lair of Scareglow.
Yep, I love that you incorporated the lore. So again, you posted this yesterday in light of all the talk about, hey, what could we possibly get from this Eternia's Choice thing? And I just want to highlight something you said, because obviously it resonates with me. The notion of like, I wanted to think a little bit outside the box and maybe throw out the idea of creating something new that still honors like the toy line, which is like what I'm all about in toys in general. So yeah, here's this notion of like, you take your actual Castle Grayskull that Mattel's already produced for Origins or the Vintage, because it would work, and just give it another place to sort of an extension, essentially, right? And I again, you're speaking my language of the idea of modularity, right? Of like extending something you already have, and just, this is fantastic.
So yes, the front of it would give it that idea of a formation look. So you had the path leading up to the drawbridge there, and that drawbridge could come down on top and connect there, and also a third wall, breaking the third wall there, where you might have the Hall of Heroes,
right here,
and have old statue of King Grayskull somewhere about there. And I thought to split the backbones at the back in half, so you can get in there and play about and what have you. And one of them might be a bit of a lever there to activate a secret doorway or another trap door.
Where would that
what
be?
Have you. And so possibly the one that's connected onto the third wall there on the other side.
Over here?
Maybe, or even you could do it on the one that's connected to Castle Grayskull itself, and just have it loose sitting against the side of that side of Castle Grayskull, so you can lever it side to side and so forth, and even in the legs themselves, you could put little dungeons or rooms in there.
That's what I think about. That's what I like to look at when I was a kid. Those
indeed,
weird little crevices and corners.
A small cave. You notice a small cave with vines there. I got that idea, of course, from Snake Mountain. They've got a little hole there with the rubbery vines hanging down, so you could put a little bit of that in there.
You got a dungeon, because every playset needs a dungeon.
I didn't draw
needs
the
a
base
trap
floor.
door.
I didn't draw the base floor there because it would have made the image a bit too cluttered. But there'll be another. You see another leg there in the last floor, which will be another add-on to Subternia there.
And I also like the feet. Also, you could harken back to like the feet of a Dragon Walker almost. Like, it just feels like consistent with the world and the different things we've had.
Yes, I thought to have a little Crystal Caves section there, where the power of Castle Grayskull gets channeled into the power orb, and then thusly transferred to the Adam's power sword, of course.
And I just wanted to point out, you've signed it, or at least somebody named Warren Goodwin has signed it. And
I don't know that,
but this was back in
yes, he's a co-designer there.
You know what?
Bob, he did all the drawing. I was just
that's right,
Eldar Bob. Ideas.
I was about to say something, but I just realized I'm wrong. So, because you, my friend, are from where you're at, this is the day and the month, correct? So this was done September 1st, right? Okay, cool.
Yes.
Yep.
My American-centric brain thought you were like, this is something you'd drawn. So like literally you saw this Eternia's Choice thing and you just started sketching.
Well, yes, mainly too. A lot of the choices really you could see at retail, as we have indeed discussed. Usually crowdfunds for more of either the high price the ticket items that might incur a bit of a more of a cost to build, like Eternia there, for example, or indeed the part pieces are a bit too big to have at retail. So that usually falls into what the crowdfundings are, or unless you're a smaller outfit like Super 7 or something, where a smaller piece might cost them a bit more to produce. But, so
hey,
there's this idea to create something quite substantial there, you might say, to fall into the category of being a crowdfunding project.
You've got some fans too. What's up, Woogie Sasquatch?
Oh, Woogie Sasquatch. Hello, sir.
Yep. Thanos would drop the coin, would open up the purse.
You'll notice too at the back door of Castle Grayskull, there's a bit of a flat area that you'd use for a bit of a path to display some figures fighting and so on.
Here.
Yes, where that pointer is.
Yeah, man. This is
so one of the things
really,
that I like
really
about this
cool
too
stuff.
is a little bit earlier this year, we all saw a little promotional picture around the time that there was that reveal about Fangor, where they saw that prototype ring entrance.
Oh yes,
from Masters of the WWE Universe. Truth be told, I can see a lot of those elements here too. So it's almost like they have kind of a prototype that they could just retool a bit and get something pretty darn close to this. I'm just going to put it out there, Mattel, because I know you're watching. Take some notes.
They repurposed Snake Mountain back in the day from that jungle playset, and that became something else. And
right.
Yeah. Chef M80 asks, how long does tooling last? Can't they re-release classics Grayskull and Snake Mountain for Masterverse if they felt like it would turn a profit, or are the molds possessions of Super 7?
I know there's been a lot of talk recently about there being a Masterverse Castle Grayskull, and so they could go that way, I suppose.
Yeah, I think I don't know who owns it. I don't know what the rights are and everything. So that's just an unknown. I'm not even going to bother to speculate because what do I know? But my understanding is as long as they take care of those things and they're not being banged around by something, they'll last, especially in the numbers of what they were producing for those two sets, right? It's like, I mean, Lego tooling lasts like for a long time before they retire those things. So I can't imagine that.
I presume most of that is made out of steel nowadays, so they're probably liquefy that all up and make a new molds, perhaps.
Yep. Yeah, it was Allison Troy, Retro Toy Princess. Yeah, Retro Toy Princess. Yeah, absolutely, man. Like folks are feeling your stuff because Eldor, this is brilliant and I love it. And because of that, I saw this, and you know what I automatically thought was, I want to see
a bit of color there. Why not?
I want to see this in, oh, you can't see the whole thing. Oh shoot. I kind of was thinking about the old concepts that we would see, or even like the packaging stuff with the scroll and so I just did this really quickly earlier, which is
yes, Eldor Bob did draw a bit of inspiration from his technical scribblings there.
So I hope you don't mind. This was just something that I was doing before because I was like,
really.
I'll even give a few to Alison Troy there. She can color in.
Yeah, and so full disclosure, Oz, when I told you, hey, can we push it back to 3:30 or whatever, it's because I wanted to do this. So yeah, and just again,
totally fine by me, man.
I love the I
kind of wished I'd drawn some little. I kind of wish that Elder Bob had drawn some little scribblings, or say the Crystal Cave pieces and that, but it was just the front and back, really.
Yeah,
you see a few details in there, like the stairway.
I don't know what we're gonna get on Tuesday. I don't know if it's going to be, as broad as like, hey, do you have ideas? And I could see the legal frustration or I don't know, the challenges that could present if they were to go that way. But man, if there was a way to get them, not just maybe not even directly taking your idea, but not, and I know that you've been influenced by other stuff. Yeah, sure. But just
I did message these photos to Mattel Creations, whether they saw it or not, I don't know.
And I know that
doing other things.
Their old former brand manager for Motu Classics in their videos had said that they actually legally can't just sort of take ideas from people, because then it kind of creates a legal problem, which I get. I've heard that in other industries. Well, totally makes sense. However, if not the actual idea, just the concept of like, why don't you build on something we already have or extend it, or maybe start thinking about when you do release stuff, think about modularity. Like, again, we kind of showed these Four Horsemen customs, right? The idea of a system where things work together. As a Lego person, I can't, like, I love it. That toy is extendable. And the idea that it might, I don't know, what it does is it builds in this notion, not to get super capitalist on everyone, but it then puts pressure on the idea of like, oh, maybe I should buy this because maybe it'll work with something later, right? And this notion that like,
every time,
like, oh, there's a little bit more incentive to be a completist or get a bunch of pieces, because you never know if other things are going to work with it. So, I like that you work that into this, and I just think it's a really brilliant use of an existing thing and extending it to even like parts of the lore that we haven't had toys of, like Subternia and the Crystal Cave. Or I didn't know if you intentionally were thinking about the Crystal Cave from the show or not.
Yes, you're gonna have the Crystal Caves, otherwise you don't have the power there.
Yeah. And just it's just really cool. And then I do see also the homage a little bit to the Filmation Castle Grayskull. So I don't know. It's right there, Mattel. Even if you don't do this, if you were just to give us the Filmation,
I wouldn't be bothered with royalties or anything. Just getting it out there so people can enjoy.
Yeah. So
this legal hoo-ha and what have you.
That's essentially the news, and folks definitely seem to agree with me that you've done some really, really great stuff here.
Well, thank you. I'm sure Elder Bob will appreciate that.
Yeah, totally. So anyway, I'm glad that we got to get together again, fellas. I know that it's been a little bit, but the good news is I know the three of us have got some things in common that we're going to be doing shortly. So why don't we go ahead and wrap up by telling folks a little bit about what we've each got going on. Why don't you go ahead, Oz? What's going on with you?
Well, right now, I know I've got a mail call video coming up soon, and I was thinking about possibly doing a live stream, maybe even later this evening if y'all haven't seen enough of me between last night, today already. And then, of course, tomorrow, you guys are definitely going to be seeing all of us, this beautiful cast of hosts and co-hosts, and we are going to be joined by some of our good friends, Jesse at Just Shelve It. Curtis Ackerman's going to be hanging out with us tomorrow night. We're hoping cool Uncle Sean will be with us too, as we roll into another Legions class for tomorrow. And Star, you're going to like this one. Going to be quite a bit of Cosmic Legions, because I don't know if you guys have seen this yet, but there's a Cosmic Legions wave out for pre-order, folks.
Yeah, there is. That's right. I gotta get my order in. Okay, so we've got Cosmic Legions tomorrow night over on Nostradamus Toys channel. Maybe a mail call video you're saying today, and maybe a stream tonight. That's what I'm hearing. Did I catch all that?
It's the possibility. There might be a little bit something there, but there's a lot of good streams going on tonight, so I got to kind of figure out where I can wedge myself in at.
Yeah, fair enough. How about you, Eldor? Anything other than hanging out with us for Cosmic Class tomorrow?
Yes, we got something coming up there. Yes, we got our own Excavator. I'll be interviewing him in my live side of Custom Figure Time. Custom Figure Time, when I and where I'll do videos of when I go about making my custom figures. But the live section will be for interviewing other creatives in the community. So this will have Scalavator on there, and we'll interview him, and that will be on the 8th of where are we now?
Next
September.
Friday.
And so that's about 6 p.m. The PT time, I think you say. So
Pacific?
I'm looking forward to that and having him on and seeing what he's all about.
Pacific time.
Cool. As far as I'm concerned, I'm actually going to be watching GTFO, Geek the F Out in a little bit to see their recap of Ahsoka. So I won't be on. I'm just going to be watching. So you all should check that out because I'm loving Ahsoka, but you've got some really great folks. In addition to Johnny and Kayla, you're going to have Chris from Shining Plastic People, and then you're going to have MegaJ Retro on there, and all talking episodes 1 through 3 of GTFO. And I'll be joining them eventually to kind of talk about the rest of the season. Then tonight, because MegaJ doesn't sleep, he's going to take off his Star Wars hat. And at 10 p.m. Pacific time and 1 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, where MegaJ is at. And we're going to be on his channel, and I think we'll probably co-stream it. And we'll be talking indie toys. He asked in his thumbnail, are indie toys the future? And I'm going to be there to answer yes. And I wanted to bring Jason from Spiro Toys, AWOC, on as well. One, because mainly because I guess one, I love AWOC. If you haven't figured it out, I'm a shill for AWOC. Two, I just want to get the perspective of someone who's actually done this thing, has gone through several Kickstarters, has essentially now done 2 toy lines, and get his perspective on how the indie toy thing is sort of happening right now and where we go from there.
Was he working on a bit of a game there, I think, and maybe
and so
coming out soon.
And then partnering with other indie makers, and that was Authority Figure, Jeremy and his brother. So figuring that too, there's so many indies that they're getting together to do these things. So there's that tonight, 10 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on MegaJ Retros and my channel. And then, oh God, there's so much. Tomorrow night, you already mentioned Legion's class. Sunday, to be clear, this is not this week's news. This is breaking news special, whatever, because we can. But no, our regularly scheduled news will be Sunday, 4:30 p.m. West Coast time. And my special guest this week will be Silver K, Kayla from GTFO, and many a innocent but quickly turned not so innocent live stream chat. And then I think that's it. So that's all the things. But again, check back probably in about 40 minutes those or subscribe to this channel, and you'll get a community post telling you when the Brick Something News link is updated, the one that's at the QR code there and in the URL at the bottom. I hope you've enjoyed this version, or this special breaking version of Brick Something News, aka BS News, because it really was just a chance for me to BS with the homies down here that I haven't seen in a little bit and talk Motu. So thank you both for joining me today. Thank you to everyone in the chat. And we will.
Thank you.
We'll be seeing you all on the internets very soon elsewhere.
Okay, folks.
That's right.
Thanks, peace, power, all those things. Woo woo.